Hey guys, thanks for joining me. I want to talk today about bond overruns. Bond overruns could be a point of confusion for contractors. If you're newer to contract bonding, if you're a contractor, if you're doing work in the public sector, if you're doing larger commercial jobs and you had to supply a bond, whether a payment bond, a performance bond, a labor material bond, you need to understand bond overruns and how they can affect your profitability on the job. And what you need to know is that a bond is written, the surety company is liable for the amount of the contracts, and they can range based on the size of the project, the surety company that you're using, and the type of job or whatever it may be, your history as a contractor for bonding. But let's say, for an example, you have a $1 million job with a 2% bond rate. That means the premium for that bond is going to be $20,000. The surety company underwrites the bond, issue the bond for you. People do get confused. It's 2% combined for the payment bond and the performance bond. The surety company, they need to get status updates and they need to close out their bond. In fact, in some situations, the obligee, which is the person that holds the bond as the guarantee from the surety on the behalf of the contractor who's the principal, they'll want what's called a consent of surety. The surety company will ask for the amount of the contract, and your client, who you provided the bond to, will provide the amount of that contract, the final value, to the surety company. Let's say it ended up over $1 million. You had change orders. You needed to bring in more materials, more labor on the job. You had more profit in the project. It ended at $1.5 million. Well, now there's an additional premium. The bond company is going to have to charge you for that extra $500,000, extra $500,000 that you performed to the job. So they're going to bill you for the extra $10,000 in premium. Still 2%, $10,000. Don't be surprised by it. That's how it works. It's called a bond overrun. You've exceeded the amount of the contract that the bond company bonded you for up front. Sort of the same goes for an insurance audit, right? If you have general liability insurance based out on a certain amount of sales, you go over, you're going to pay the difference. This is based on the contract value. They're going to bill you for the difference. What can you do about it? Well, one is to be aware of it so you're not surprised by it, so you don't chew up all your values or your profits in the job. But as you have change orders and you're invoicing your client for the change orders, bill that extra 2% into the change order. So let's say incrementally you have another $100,000 worth of work. Bill that extra 2%, build that extra $2,000 in bond premium that you have to pay the surety company at the time that you do the change order. You don't want to have to go back and chase around an invoice for that extra $500,000 in contract value after you've already done the job, got your final payment, and walked off. If it's in your contract though, there shouldn't be any problem collecting, although it could take longer. You might have to pay the bond company first and go back and collect that extra premium. But if it's in the contract, you should be insulated from any loss of premium. Again, the bond company up front is going to bond you for the amount of the contract that you think it's going to be, that you agreed upon with your client. But if that goes over, they're going to charge you that difference in premium based on the percentage that they charged you up front for the bond. I hope this helps. It's something that you should be aware of. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, like I said, go ahead and put them here on YouTube. I reply to everyone. I read every single one of them. Remember, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Thanks again for watching. Have a great one.